In the week since the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary, many schools across the country have been on high alert. Others, including some here in the capital region, have been dealing with an increase in threats of violence. Tonight, our Brandon Lewis takes a closer look at the impact this tragedy and these further threats have had on our students.
Nearly a dozen schools, including Broad Albany, investigated threats of violence against students this past week. It comes at an unnerving time for families following last week's deadly shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut.
Frequently, the kids will get frightened of going to school, frightened about what might happen when they leave home.
Fears of violence are often amplified when the threats occur close to the classroom. Nydegger says often students making the prank reports don't connect news of the tragedies like Sandy Hook to the impact of their actions.
What's unfortunate is that these kinds of things really do harm in and of themselves. It does keep the fears alive. It does make people feel much more threatened than they actually are. And it does interrupt the education and the lives of the people who are involved.
For the hundreds of students at schools where a threat was made, some were allowed to stay home by their parents, a decision Nydegger says isn't the healthiest.
I think I would avoid the extremes. I wouldn't ignore it. And I also wouldn't sit down and spend 2 hours talking to the kids about the thing. I think what you do is to say, okay, you know how kids are, and you know that some kids are going to do things like this thinking it's funny. It's not funny. In fact, it's harmful. School is one of the safest places to be. And I think reinforcing that, making sure that kids stay involved with their activities.
Unfortunately, the pranks are common following tragedies, which is why it's recommended to talk with children and encourage normal activities. Brandon Lewis, CBS 6 News, Schenectady.